tonight. Ministry of Health and Wellness, with the support of the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, conducts expedited COVID-19 testing at the Golden Age home in Vineyard Town, Kingston.
We are going to be screening both residents and staff of the facility.
Jamaica records 71 new cases of COVID-19 and no additional deaths in the last 24 hours, taking the total of cases to 8,445, while deaths remain at 174. Still tonight, family of 7 in Kingston 13 left homeless due to a fire that destroyed their home last night.
I have to start over back fresh because remember, in a time like this where COVID is just hard,
Jamaica, whatever I can do, any donation, anything at all will be well appreciated.
And PNP presidential candidate Lisa Hanna today nominated for the election of a new leader of the PNP on November 7. Good evening. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, with the support of the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, is conducting expedited testing for COVID-19 at the Golden Age home in Vineyard Town, Kingston. Now, this follows the discovery of a cluster of cases at the facility. 43 of 72 samples taken from residents and staff at the facility have so far returned a positive result. Now, in speaking with our news team earlier today, the Southeastern Regional Health Authority's Regional Technical Director, Dr. Sandra Chambers, outlined that the testing of all 428 residents and 162 members of staff is underway.
We are going to be screening both residents and staff of the facility. We have 300 and something to screen, and we are aiming to do as many as we can today. We want to complete it by tomorrow. So we are trying to screen at least 250. If we can go more, we go more. So we have a large team here today. We have a team of 8, 12, 13, 14 swabbers, persons who would be taking the swabs today to see how fast we can get through. So we are equipped with personal protective gears, UTMs, which are the mediums to transport medium for the viral medium, and we have the swabbers. Yes, so we have everything that we need.
Dr. Chambers also said that no one is seriously ill at this time.
So far, we have no report of anybody being seriously ill. However, we will be conducting closer assessment of the persons who would have been diagnosed. So we're going to be doing a check of them to ensure that they are not in need of hospitalization and they maintain stable and asymptomatic. But it is always important, we know that the vulnerable age group is the over 65, and the most, if not all, of these residents are within that age group. So this is a vulnerable age group, and that is why we have to pay close attention to them to ensure that they maintain stable. As far as I understand, all the residents who tested were asymptomatic. We started the testing on Saturday. We got results yesterday, and that is what has triggered the action. And so we are going to be doing our necessary investigation and our contact tracing.
Meanwhile, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Desmond McKenzie, during a live digital press conference held earlier today, pointed out that the cluster was uncovered as part of the Health Ministry's ongoing island-wide surveillance of senior citizens' homes and infirmaries.
The result of the collective response between the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Local Government, I want to make the point again and to emphasize that since the 14th of May, we start testing residents and workers in all infirmaries. We were able to conclude those tests in reasonable time. And since then, we have done 7 more infirmaries, again, going over testing as the process increased. So it is because of this approach, we were able to discover the cases. And as I said before, our commitment is to work with the Ministry of Health to bring the spread under control. I want to use the forum, as I did yesterday, to invite members of staff who has not yet reported to the institution to do so that they can be tested. I'm encouraging all members of staff to do so. And we are now putting on high alert all of the infirmaries across the country. And we have already issued strict instructions as to the guidelines that was in force before, and we are now going to be reinforcing and strengthening those guidelines, working closely with the Ministry of Health.
Now, Minister McKenzie also said that an investigation is now ongoing to find out what or who breached the protocols that caused the virus to infect persons at the Golden Age home.
The first set of inspections started somewhere around in May, where all the infirmaries, and as the minister just updated you, that an additional test was done. So what we have tried to do since the measures is to have more than one testing of residents in the infirmary, and we have been very successful in doing that. The fact is that we can't deny that there has to be some breach why the virus has infected so many persons. And based on the testing that has been done and the tracing and the limited information that we know, it is clear that it is out of those breaches that the residents were infected. And as I said earlier on, the investigations to determine how and who is on the way. And, you know, based on what is required, even if we know, we can't say, because we have to protect the individuals that are involved.
The Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, during today's digital press conference outlined institutions that underwent inspections and those that met the health protocol standards.
We have some 214 nursing homes and 15 infirmaries. 206 of the 214 nursing homes have been inspected. 206 are operational, so even though we have 214 on record, 206 operational. This is according to the public health team who works with the standard agency, and they go out in the field and do the inspections. And you would have heard me commented some time back that those inspections were a priority once we concluded that those residents were part of the vulnerable communities that needed particular attention around adherence to the COVID protocols. Of the 206 that have been inspected, 95 met the requirements around the protocols immediately. 116 were found to be unsatisfactory for one reason or another. And the team has been working with those to bring them up to speed. In terms of infirmaries, 7 initially met the criteria. 8 were considered to need more work. And again, the public health team working with our standard agency has been working with these institutions to bring them up to speed.
Now, Dr. Tufton further outlined that institutions such as nursing homes do pose challenges in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic.
We always knew that institutions like infirmaries, nursing homes, the prisons would represent particular challenges because of the nature of those institutions, the fact that it's a confined space, because of the persons who are residents in those institutions, persons who have a particular age, comorbidities, and so our protocols have been in effect for some time, and to date we have had one or two minor, cases, situations. This represents the largest, but this entity, the Golden Age Home, is the largest of its kind, I think, in the Caribbean. And we are working with the ministry, with Mr. Mackenzie's team, to ensure that all the members are notified and tested and are appropriately guided in terms of the the steps that they need to take during this interim period. So it's not an issue. It is being done.
In the meantime, Jamaica recorded 71 new cases of COVID-19 and no additional deaths in the last 24 hours. Now, this takes the total of COVID-19 cases on record for the island to 8,445. The overall death toll from the coronavirus in Jamaica remains at 174. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, of the newly confirmed cases, 40 are females and 31 are males, ranging in age from 2 to 91 years. The cases were recorded in St. Catherine with 20, Kingston and St. Andrew 15, St. Mary has recorded 8 cases, St. James 6, Clarendon, St. Anne and St. Elizabeth have recorded 4 cases each. Manchester and Westmoreland recorded 3 cases each. St. Thomas recorded 2, while Hanover and Portland recorded 1 case each. There are 22 moderately ill and 10 critically ill patients among the 4,142 active cases now under observation in Jamaica. Meanwhile, recoveries increased by 14 on Monday, taking the total of recoveries to 4,016. In news from the capital, a family of 7 in Kingston 13 have been left homeless due to a fire that destroyed their home last night. More on this story with Colleen May.
7 persons, including 4 children, are left homeless after fire destroyed their home on St. Joseph Road in Kingston 13 last night. When our news team visited the area this morning, one of the persons left homeless, Cassandra Francis, spoke with our news team and explained what had happened.
The fire started around like around 5 minutes or 10 minutes to midnight. We have 2 rooms. One of the rooms is the kids' room and one is my room that I share with my spouse. All right. I was in my room lying down. Then fell asleep. Then I felt my son, that's my 3-year-old. I felt when he came beside me and said, "Mommy." So him said, "Mommy." I turn around and I say, "Azia, what's it? What's wrong?" When I turn around and I look over the next side of the room, the only thing I see is fire, smoke, flame, all the works. I got up, I put him right at the door. I said, "Stand up, don't move." Put him at the door because the door is close to the bed. I put him right at the door and I went over the other room. And when I went over the room, the only thing I saw over there was smoke and fire. I couldn't see the baby any at all. That is his brother who is 1 year old. I couldn't see him. So I heard the cry, and when I heard the cry, I just reached out and just pull him off the bed. He was in the middle of the bed and the fire was all around him, surrounding him from back to front. I just hear the cry and I just grab him off, that's all. And just head through the door with the 2 of them, open the door, run out. Jamaica, whatever I can do, any donation, anything at all will be well appreciated. Can give you a number to call if you want to help. 599-2463. That's my number. If you want to help or give any donation, it will be well appreciated.
Another fire victim and Miss Francis's spouse, Michael Payne, expressed that everything is lost in the fire.
Well, I lose all of the documents, them like age paper, immunization, passport, TRN, NIS, and TV, yeah, fridge, bed, clothes. The only thing the kids them have right now is what on them back. Nothing for say change off. As I can see, everything, books, even the books them, if we go back to school because we did even buy some, we did fill the book list for the schooling and everything burn up. Pencil, sharpener, ruler, crayon, textbook, everything burn up.
Mr. Payne, in pleading with the public for assistance, further explained that he now has to start afresh while ensuring his family, which includes 2 young children, are cared for.
I have to start over back fresh because remember, in a time like this where COVID is, it's just hard, It's just hard for no say you have to go start all over back. We have to go run back light, get GPS back, even the pipe them burn up. You can't.
Where are you going to sleep?
I have to go sleep at somebody's house for get back, for cope and get myself back together and get the kids them back together. Asking Jamaica for help. I know I don't give no one nothing to put on worse in time like this, but I'm asking anyone can contribute a helping hand, especially for the kids, because one of them get a chance back to get them education back online and get some clothes, anything, any clothes, any shoes, anything. Just asking for help.
The family is asking if anyone wish to assist them. They can call 876-599-2463 or 876-456-4237. Reporting for Mello TV News, I'm Kaleem May.
Still making news tonight, People's National Party's PNP presidential candidate, Ms. Lisa Hanna, was nominated at midday today for the November 7 election for a new leader of the party to succeed Dr. Peter Phillips. Ms. Hanna was accompanied by 12 electors who signed her nomination form after presenting her papers and paying the requisite fees to members of the party's election monitoring committee at the PNP's party headquarters located at 89 Old Hope Road. Now, due to existing government COVID-19 protocols, a large gathering was not present, although there was a staging area at the National Arena's car park to accommodate the 150 people allowed for outdoor events. The presidential candidate is a 4-term member of parliament representing the PNP rural stronghold of southeastern St. Anne. Ms. Hanna was recruited by the first female president of the party, the Most Honorable Portia Simpson Miller. She is a former Minister of Youth, said to be responsible for landmark achievements during her tenure, including the recognition of the Blue and John Crow Mountains as a World Heritage Park. She currently serves as treasurer and an officer of the party and was chief party spokesperson during the recent general election. In the meantime, Vice President of the People's National Party and a Member of Parliament for Eastern Kingston and Port Royal, Philip Paulwell, has declared his support for presidential candidate Lisa Hanna in the upcoming internal presidential election on November 7, 2020. Now, in a statement yesterday evening made following a meeting with his constituency's delegates, the 6th-term Member of Parliament said he has considered the leadership issue carefully, including the need for unity and the rebuilding of the organization. He further stated that he consulted widely and examined the potential contributions of both aspirants before concluding that Ms. Hanna is the better choice to renew and re-energize the party. The PNP's vice president said the most critical objective facing the party at this juncture is party unity. Mr. Paulwell urged all party delegates and supporters to embrace unity and the core values of the PNP, which includes freedom of expression and being tolerant of all views. He says he has great faith in the future of the PNP to reinvent itself under Ms. Hanna's leadership and to regain its position as a strong and vibrant political organization to win elections and lead policy development for the Jamaican people. As we continue with the news, detectives attached to the Criminal Investigations Branch in Savannah-Lamar are seeking the public's assistance to identify and locate a man who has been fingered as a suspect in an ongoing fraud investigation. Now, the man came to the attention of the police during investigations into a case of obtaining money by false pretense, which began with a report on Saturday, October 17. Investigators say that a complainant reported that in June 2020, she paid the suspect pictured above Jamaican $100,000 for a driver's license. However, it was never delivered and several calls to the suspect's phone went unanswered. The matter was reported to the police when an agreement to repay the money was not honored. They are now appealing to anyone who may be able to identify the individual pictured above who may have any information that can assist them in their investigation to contact them at 876-955-2758, Crime Stop at 311 or Police Emergency Number 119. Still making news tonight, effective yesterday, the Transport Authority reopened 80 route taxi routes across the island and is urging prospective operators and investors to take advantage of the offer, which closes on November 20 of this year. The authority says the routes were reopened based on the increase in requests for additional routes. Among the routes now opened are Shredways to Euraton and Old Harbor to Spanish Town in St. Catherine, Trinity to Oracabessa, and Fraser's Wood to Highgate in St. Mary, Green Pond to Montego Bay, and Mount Carey to Montego Bay in St. James. The Transport Authority is therefore urging persons operating public transportation services without the requisite road licenses to ensure that they legalize their services now to avoid prosecution. In the meantime, the authority is reminding the prospective applicants to apply through the registered route taxi associations. The Transport Authority is therefore urging applicants to refrain from conducting business with individuals purported to be agents of the Transport Authority, as the authority will not accept liability for any losses incurred by applicants resulting from these transactions. In other news tonight, Prime Minister and leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, the Most Honourable Andrew Holness, has made a combined donation of $5 million to the University of the West Indies and the University of Technology through his Positive Jamaica Foundation and the Jamaica Labour Party's Education Fund. The donation of $2.5 million to each of the institutions was made yesterday and is to benefit students experiencing financial hardships. The Prime Minister expressed that the difficulties experienced by students are made worse by the COVID-19 pandemic, with many being unable to afford their tuition due to a change in their economic circumstances. Other students are unable to access devices or connectivity to facilitate online learning. The money, he says, is to assist those students who are most vulnerable and are at risk of dropping out of school. Mr. Holness says, with the party directly providing full scholarships both this year and last year to 9 students for a course of 3 years, plus over a dozen bursaries, not including constituency bursaries, which totaled 136, felt it was necessary for the universities to discharge these funds as they would be better able to identify struggling students. Continuing with the news, Member of Parliament Mello Tv presented grants to residents in her constituency in an effort to assist with welfare and educational needs. More on this story with Tamara Mikhail.
St. James West Central Member of Parliament Mello Tv, through the Constituency Development Fund CDF, gave grants valued over $3 million to persons within the constituency as an ongoing effort to assist persons amidst the challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Mrs. Mello Ford said that over the past 2 days, she and the team from her constituency office have been dealing with welfare and educational support.
As everyone knows, COVID has hit Jamaica really hard. A lot of persons in St. James, and in particular in my St. James West Central constituency, earn around the tourism product. And things have fallen off for them. Every year as Member of Parliament, through the CDF and other means, I provide assistance across a number of areas. Over the last 2 days, I've been dealing with matters of welfare and education support. And in total, I'm pleased to advise that the Office of Member of Parliament is giving out over $3 million worth of assistance across a number of areas. You would have seen some of the recipients. If you had come yesterday, you'd have seen probably 5-6 times as many here, and we have others to come. All I say to persons, make good use of it and help those who are also in need. One of the criteria is that applicants have to show how they are going to give back to their community, and they all set out their life story. But I'm very, very pleased to provide the assistance at this time to ensure that none of them falls by the wayside.
Mrs. Mello Ford also outlined ways persons can assess this sort of support from the constituency.
Persons have to be residents of the constituency. They also have to be a current student at the institution. We have to see proof of financial need. We have to get from the school what their current status is and what the fees are. So everything is verified and checked that all application is bona fides, in other words. No, it goes to the institution to ensure that it is not diverted. All checks are made out to the institutions that the applicants are registered students at. We are trying to assist everyone, dealing with the neediest first. So unless persons are on path and are getting assistance to the program, I am trying my best to assist everyone once a genuine need is established. These are hard times. But this is something that we do every year. The only thing that is not happening this year as part of the education support program is our regular parenting seminar that we have done and you have generously covered in the past. But as soon as we have an opportunity, we will resume the parenting support program.
Earl James, the oldest applicant to receive the educational support, expressed his dream to become a trained teacher and how this donation will help in accomplishing just that.
I am here because I requested financial assistance for my education, for my MP, and I was successful. This fund is to help me towards my teacher education. I want to be a teacher, a professional teacher, to be formally trained. So because of financials, my financial standing, I've applied for help and I've gotten it. And now I can pursue my education in teaching degree.
For Mello TV News, I am Tamar McHale.
And those were the stories making news. I'm Shelley Hill. We'll now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with sports.
Coronavirus is in Jamaica, and I know you feel scared and worried. But you can't let COVID-19 divide us. Coronavirus infects all kinds of people. It doesn't discriminate. So why should you? When someone coughs or sneezes or shows signs of the virus, tell them to call 888-1-LOVE immediately. And remember, stay 3 feet away, but don't attack or disrespect them, because we're all in this thing together. Come on, Jamaica, cut the hate and don't discriminate. Let us stand together and fight COVID-19 as one family, one nation.